me, your host, Phil Wainwright. Joining me in the studio for this bonus episode, we have former football manager and big personality, Big Phil Philson, and of course voted Obstruction magazine's most likely to stand in the way. That's right, talent agent extraordinaire, Phil the Money Morrison. And we will have a special mystery guest a little later as well. But now I want to address you, the listeners, directly. It gives me no pleasure to tell you this, listeners, but I am afraid things have gone too far. Matters have come to a head, so to speak, and I need to come clean. I set the shit smugglers onto caller number 2. I did that. Me, Phil Wainwright. My word, Mr. Wainwright, how could you? The man's family was shit targeted. I mean, how could you do that to another human being? It just doesn't sit right with me, Mr. Wainwright. Please, Phil the Money Morrison, allow me to explain myself. There were extenuating circumstances. You see, as you know, Phil, I have an incredibly low tolerance for alcohol consumption. So low, in fact, is my tolerance for alcohol consumption that I have been known to become intoxicated from digesting just a handful of chocolate liqueurs. In fact, it was a box of Irish creams that led me to punch the driver of my studio car before making a homosexual pass at said driver, an event well publicised in news media at the time. Well, another evening, after leaving the studio, stressed out from Big Phil Philson's crazy behaviour, I decided to enjoy a lager shandy at a local bar. One lager shandy quickly became 2 lager shandies, and before I knew it, I was really quite pissed. In my drunken rage, I was explaining to my fellow bar patrons that I hate caller number 2 because he likes Phil the Money Morrison too much, and he is a shithead. And as I was making this declaration, out of the shadow of his booth in the bar, came a man, and he explained to me that he was a part of an underground shit smuggling cartel, and he would be happy to shit attack caller number 2 in exchange for a favour at a later date. In my drunken haze, I agreed, and a shit spree was set into motion. After hearing the pleas for salvation from caller number 2, I decided that I would quite like to call off the shit spree, but unfortunately, when I contacted the murky shit smuggler from the bar, he explained to me that once a shit spree has been set into motion, no single man can stop the spree. So, this has been my confession on the matter. Look, Mr. Wainwright, we all make mistakes. I myself have had my fair share of regrets. I mean, in hindsight, I should probably never have decided to teach my dog to drive in a residential area. But then again, who's to say that if a human being had been driving the car, that they too would not have mounted the sidewalk and struck down peace-loving pedestrians? I mean, we will never know. What I know for sure, Phil, is that not only is it extremely difficult to teach a dog to drive, but it's damn near impossible to get a labradoodle to perform effective CPR. We lost a lot of people that day, but we learned from our mistakes, Phil. Yes, thank you, Phil the Money Morrison, for your words of support. Now, before we introduce our special guest, Big Phil Philson has called into the show from his hospital bed to react to the news that I, Phil Wainwright, set the shit smugglers onto caller number 2. Big Phil Philson, you're live on the air. Hey up, Duck. I'm still in hospital, still waiting for me court appearance date for everything that went on last time I was in studio, with the seat sniffing and the gunplay and caller number 1 and all that nonsense that no one can really remember anyway. But apparently I got to go to court for that, so I'll get that out the way. But yeah, I was shocked to hear the news, really, Mr. Wainwright, Phil Wainwright. I think you've gone too far this time, Duck. I suppose we can all get a bit carried away at times, Duck, even me. I remember one occasion, I was talking to our Martha the other week about it, and I remember one occasion when I was the manager down at Pimbleton United, And you remember when I was the manager at Pimpleton United, don't you, Duck? And I'll be honest, I got a bit carried away. We were losing football matches at a tremendous rate, and something had to be done, you see, Phils. Now, I'd been reading up on human sacrifice in the ancient world, like Duck, and I decided to turn around the team's fortunes. I was going to have to sacrifice one of the marginal players to the goddess of sport in an old-fashioned blood ritual. We tied the player down, and began chanting, as you do for these sorts of things, and I prepared my ceremonial blade, and just as we was about to cut lad's throat, the sporting regulator walked in, talking some human rights nonsense. And as I said in later courtroom documents, Duck, yes, I went a bit too far, but I've said sorry. What more do you want me to do? As far as I'm concerned, that puts matters to bed, when you do say sorry. And on top of that, Duck, it was quite useful to me, I sent out a message to the other players, that if results are not going our way, if we can't win football matches, I'm more than willing to sacrifice a marginal player to the goddess of sport in a blood ritual. So it had the desired effect as far as I'm concerned, Duck. Thank you, Big Phil Philson, for your thoughts. We wish you a speedy recovery from your gunshot wound to the penis area, and pending your much-anticipated trial, we hope to see you back in the studio soon. Now, listeners, it's time for our special guest, and the special guest is the shit smuggler that I met at the bar. He will be joining us. Now, he is a little bit shy, and will be going by the initial S to remain covert. So, welcome to the Free Phils, Mr. S. Please tell us about yourself and how you became an international shit smuggler.
Thank you, Phil. It's great to be with you on the show. So, you want to know where it all started, do you? I suppose it began when I was a boy. Mother and father were killed in a tragic car accident. At the orphanage, the other boys would tease me something terrible. They would hit me and kick me and spit at me. That was until I found out that if I asphyxiated a lump of dog shit to a stick and flung it at the boys, well, the bullying soon stopped after that, Phil, I can tell you. I started my DS club soon after that. Everyone wanted to join, of course, lest they end up becoming DS'd, you understand.
Mr. S., you mentioned that you started a DS club and people didn't want to become DS'd. What is DS?
Don't play coy with me, lad. DS stands for dog shitting, of course, and I founded the Dog Shitting Club on this principle. This was my first taste of power, the first taste of power that shit attacks can provide. Soon enough, I flowered and became a man, and I realized that if dog shit attacks had made me powerful, how much more powerful would human fecal matter attacks make me? So, I started the Shit Smugglers. We used to go by the initials SS, but that seemed to alienate our Jewish and German membership. So, Shit Smugglers we are. Some call us the Shit Smuggling Alliance, the Shit Smuggling Axis of Shit Smuggling, the Shit Smuggling Cartel. Whatever they call us, the activity remains the same, you understand, Mr. Wainwright. We smuggle shit to use in attacks at a later date.
Right. That all sounds pretty disgusting, Mr. S. I do have a follow-up question. What are the goals of the shit smugglers? What do you hope to achieve with all of this shit activity?
Straight to the matter at hand, I see, Mr. Wainwright. The shit smugglers are bound by our shared desire to see the world cake-hold in human shit. To achieve this goal, we seek to increase our power, in trade and in commerce and in the media too, when we eventually control the sewer system. Once we have control of that, we will cause a reverse flow that will see the world and its toilets overflow with human shit. When the last of the developing countries implements flushing toilets into rural areas, then we will strike, Mr. Wainwright. Imagine, Mr. Wainwright, a shit spree from Salisbury to Shanghai, every major city subjected to a major shit attack.
Mr. S., that's a diabolical plan. You've gone mad. Totally mad.
Perhaps, Mr. Wainwright, perhaps you're right. Now, when I met you in the bar that evening, you were told that the shit smugglers would require a favour from you. Mr. Wainwright, the day for that favour to be fulfilled has come. The shit smugglers require your firstborn son. Nothing more, nothing less.
Oh, no! You can't take my boy, Steve.
No, Mr. Wainwright, we're not going to take Steve. You were going to take your firstborn son. Your firstborn son's called Jeremy.
Oh, I see, yes, of course. Well, he's no Steve, but still, it would be inconvenient. It would be hard to explain to his mother. I can't do it. You'll have to choose another favour, I think, Mr. S.
Entirely out of the question, I'm afraid, Mr. Wainwright. But don't worry, the boy will have a good life. Top hotels, international travel, and yes, of course, on occasion, he will carry out heinous shit attacks.
It sounds to me, Mr. S., like you guys could do with a talent agent. Take my card. But he wants to take Jeremy, Phil the Money Morrison, my child. Settle down, Mr. Wainwright. I'll represent the boy as well for a fee. I wouldn't have it any other way. At least the boy will have a talent agent under these circumstances. Yes, at least he will have a talent agent. That is something, at least I can tell his mother. Mr. S., fine, I suppose. We have a filthy, shit-ridden deal. You promise not to shit-attack me or what's left of my family, and you can have my firstborn son to be trained as a shit smuggler.
Excellent, Mr. Wainwright. Now, I like the bit where you read the news. What crazy stories are there out there in this world of yours, this pristine, uncovered in shit world at the moment? What stories are out there?
Oh, you like the show as well, Mr. S? You're a fan of the show? That's great. Mr. S is a great guy, right, Phil? Fine. I will read the news, ripped from the headlines, and put in front of me to regurgitate back to you, the listeners, is this. A major wildlife study has shown that big cats are the most dangerous animals in the wild. One critic questioned the findings, noting that a lion would simply eat a big cat. So, it seems that this survey has sparked some lively debate.
Hurry up with the boy, or I will sling a sack of shit at the wall and see what sticks.
Yes, Mr. S., you've made your point very clear. We have our shitty deal. You can take the child. Thank you for listening to the Free Phils. We hope that you'll listen again. I've been your host, Phil Wainwright. Goodbye.